6 truths that I come back to when doing couples therapy. Number 4, emotions are central to healthy relationships, not obstacles. Soft emotions and vulnerable emotions transform relationships more than problem solving or logic does. Hard emotions are usually shared in an accusatory, defensive, or critical way, which escalates conflict.
This woman is telling you what to do before even knowing you or what the issue is. And that's a problem. So let's talk about why it's important to screen to qualify a therapist before setting an appointment, whether it's with a man or a woman. Starting with this big lesson. Different therapy models emphasize different routes to relationship change and repair. For example, emotionally focused approaches, like this Sophia Rodriguez just explained to us, those tend to prioritize expressing softer, vulnerable emotions to repair attachment patterns. While other approaches, like cognitive behavioral and behavioral couples therapies, place more emphasis on communication skills, behavioral change, interpretations, and problem solving. And again, that's why it's important for men to do their homework before starting any therapy, because they need to know whether the therapist treats logic, boundaries, and problem solving as equally legitimate skills for men and their approaches. The problem with the statement that this woman gave us,
soft emotions and vulnerable emotions transform relationships more than problem solving or logic does,
is that it creates a hierarchy. It's also black and white. She's telling us, do this, don't do that. It places emotional expression above logic. It places vulnerability above problem solving and softer feelings higher than practical resolution. In heterosexual relationships, that usually means the more emotionally expressive woman's style is prioritized, while the more logical, contained, and solution-oriented man's communication is what needs to be corrected. And that's what they'll focus on if you let them. Broadly speaking, women are more relationally verbal and emotionally expressive. We all get that? I think it's fine. While men are often more action-focused, compartmentalized, and problem-solving, and moving toward resolution. I'm fine with that too. But unfortunately, a lot of therapists don't see it that way, or they don't agree with it. And those are not universal truths, but they are common enough that they should be considered in therapy. So when a therapist privileges soft emotion over logic and problem solving, the intervention can become one-directional. He is, or you are, expected to become more emotionally expressive, right? She just told us that that's the most important part. Well, she, the woman, is not equally expected to come or to offer more logical or solution-oriented resolutions. That imbalance can cause some serious issues for guys because for many men, problem solving leads to resolution far more quickly than expressing soft emotions. A guy, or you, may seek facts, focus on sequences, or push for a concrete agreement because emotional processing without resolution is quicker to build trust with you. And despite what therapists say, that doesn't make you emotionally defective. In fact, it's very possible it means that you communicate nothing more than just simply different than the typical woman. It may mean that your relational language of sorts is action, clarity, restraint, repair, and follow-through, direct action steps. And therapists like Sophia Rodriguez explain that as some type of avoidance or not cooperating. So in turn, guys' desire for specifics is therefore defensive, and his problem solving is emotional disconnection. And when that happens, he's trapped. If he argues or asks for details, he's mansplaining. If he wants action, he's being disrespectful. So the hierarchy that Sophia stated is also misleading because relationships do not actually run on emotions alone. We all know this, right? Softer emotions may change the tone of a conversation, but they don't answer some practical questions. Like what happened? Who did what? Who said what? What boundary was crossed? And what behaviors need to change or stop? For a lot of guys, those questions are what make emotional safety possible in the first place. A guy may not feel safe becoming vulnerable unless he sees fairness, responsibility, restraint, and follow-through on her end. Let's actually bring in some evidence here. By and large, research and theory do not support treating logic and problem solving as inferior to relationship skills. She got this almost entirely wrong. And let me just make this statement here as well. I don't know what her training was. She has a master's degree from Pepperdine University, I think in 2023. So she's a youngin'. And my guess is she doesn't have the experience dealing with men, and a lot of her approach and her beliefs and what she wants people to follow are her personal beliefs. This emotion-centered stuff just happens to fall in line with her personal beliefs. There are plenty of different therapies out there. This is a personal thing that she prefers to have and wants you to do it too. Anyway, back to this. According to this meta-analysis, cognitive behavioral couple therapy has solid empirical support for reducing relationship conflict. It also describes therapeutic treatment planning as using cognitive, emotional, and behavioral interventions depending on the couple's actual needs. Now, that directly challenges the hierarchy that Sofia Rodriguez so confidently asserts, where soft emotions outrank logic or problem solving. In a more proper and comprehensive therapy model, communication skills, decision making, and problem solving are all legitimate treatment methods. These authors specifically refer to the importance of communication skills and training and problem solving around conflict behaviors. So when it comes to therapy approaches, the better research-based position is not soft emotion transforms more than logic. It's that emotion and problem solving do different jobs. Emotion helps explain why the issue is important. That's women. Logic helps clarify what happened and how to fix it. That's men. And this is why men need to qualify their therapists. A good one should not be trying to feminize your relational style and then criticize or challenge you or change you when you can't or you're not willing to comply. A good therapist should be fluent in both approaches, or multiple for that matter, depending on the client. Emotion and logic, vulnerability and boundaries, validation and practical restoration. The goal should not be to make you more like her.
Soft emotions and vulnerable emotions transform relationships more than problem solving or logic does.
It should be to make both of you more productive toward resolution. For more about how to qualify a therapist, get this therapy literacy guide for men. The link is in the description. Cheers, guys. Be careful out there. I'll be back soon.